Well, hello and welcome to podcast episode 131. Of course, this is the First Alert podcast. We're excited that you're joining us. We have an action-packed about 40 minutes ahead. We got the Euro model, and that's the only model we have because we're running a little bit tight on time this evening. Good evening, Camila Ortiz, our meteorologist here at KPTV.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to see just the Euro model.
That's all we get. We didn't pay for the GFS today. And Payton Major, how are you back from vacation?
You know, I'm doing good. You should be grateful because I changed from a sweatshirt to a sweater for this. I've been watching basketball all day.
You should have kept the sweatshirt.
Right?
Have you seen what I look like most of the times when we're shooting this at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, it happens.
Definitely wearing pajama pants.
I've already been on TV, so I think I'm looking pretty good.
You only got to look good from here up.
It's the best it's going to be here.
Yeah.
All right. So we have I was driving to work today, and my sister, I was calling her because she's retired. And she lives in Hawaii. And I said, hey, can you imagine the weather here? You know, she grew up here. And I go, imagine I'm driving to work. It's about 51 degrees. It's totally gray. It's kind of raining, but it's not really raining much.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, we're just in shorts and a T-shirt here looking out towards the ocean a few miles away.
Of course.
That's
ridiculous. The retired life.
Man.
Yeah.
To be in Hawaii right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump into it. We're recording this on Thursday evening. It's about 7:10 p.m. Camila's got the next show, 8 o'clock. You ready to go, Camila? Do you have a lot of cool graphics?
I have nothing lined up, but you know I like to fly by the seat of my pants.
You know, Payton, actually, that's a good story. Earlier, I did something that I hadn't done in many, many years. So I did talk to some old folks, the Bonaventure in Gresham, the retirement home. Right. My mom is there. Was that too much information?
Ooh.
Anyway, I didn't give her room number. So anyway, they said, hey, can you come and give that talk about winters past, the big ice storm in Troutdale in 1921 and the 1950 January. Anyway, so, you know, older folks love that historical stuff. I do. So, you know, I'll probably be there soon. But it was great. I was in their theater. They asked good questions. It was so much different than talking to kids.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, a lot of them remember specific weather events in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that was different with the, you know, that demographic, let's say, several phones would go off and it would take a long time for the ringing or the noises to stop. Because, you know, as you get a little older, even me with my kids are like, Dad, why is it taking you so long, Dad? And I'm fumbling around trying to figure out how it works.
So they don't even realize it's their phone ringing, probably.
Well, they did, but it took them a while to, you know, you have to figure, your mind just moves a little slower. You have to figure out how to, you know, turn it off. So, I mean, I'm even like that if my kids notice. Thank God you two are really patient with me when I'm working on things and don't make me speed up.
No, you move pretty quickly.
Don't have your patience with Mark Nelson. I was kidding.
Yeah. Oh, so wait, I never got to the story. So the point is I get in here, Camila had done everything. Okay.
Well, that was the deal.
Yeah, that was the deal. We worked it out. It was great. So I was running real tight on time anyway. The boss wanted to talk about something too. And then I got dressed. I run out there. I'm ready. I've got about 2 minutes to like organize, like my kind of like PowerPoint, put my stuff in order. And the producer goes, Mark, we need you now. Like their first story had failed, their live shot. So Payton, that was the only time in many, many years where I went on the air with that A block. And I only knew like the first graphic was like a camera and then maybe radar. I had no idea what came after that. And I was just going to go through it. And thank God it was kind of like yesterday's weather because everything was fine and I faked it. But that was the most awkward meteorologically. I was like, wait, I wasn't really in the mode like, wait, okay, we have the one system came through and now the second. You know what I mean? It was just, it was just talking this. It was like this weather vomit that ended up looking pretty good.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone would have been able to tell. So you crushed it.
Because we're professionals.
Sometimes that happens. Like we don't know what's coming next or we put our graphics together an hour before and you're like, you just click the button and you hope for the best.
I never felt so discombobulated. So, okay, so we got to get Camila's on the air in 45 minutes. So let's jump into it. Episode 131. We're going to cover March so far. We know we've had lots of rain. We had some flooding down in Southwest Oregon. We'll cover that. Mm-hmm. Let's see how the snowpack is doing because it's obvious this is the peak for many areas. By that, I mean we have some warmer weather coming up, okay, over the next week. Oregon spring break begins tomorrow, Friday. We're recording this Thursday evening. We've got some warm weather ahead. Very exciting. Some nice stuff. And the term of the week, you're like, that's kind of odd. Don't we all know what a rainbow is? But we figured since we've been getting rainbow pictures and it's that time of the year with the showers and sun breaks pattern, let's talk rainbows.
Good rainbow weather.
And I haven't seen these yet, so this will be fun. Viewer photos. Payton put those in yesterday. So
nice.
Yes.
Let's jump into it. Look at the nice March weather.
Wow. Look at this. Look at this opening graphic. Is this new? Did you choose a different template, Mark?
I don't know. I think Katie came up with this last week, so I copied it. But every time I copy pasted, it didn't work right. So I don't know. I need to get some guidance on that.
It was the first day of spring, year 2. So.
Oh, that's right. The spring's equinox. I didn't use the spring equinox graphics. You did last night on the air or no?
Yeah, I did. I used them last night.
Where was I? Oh, remember I had the weather party.
Weather meeting.
Yeah.
That's right. So March 2025, it's pretty obvious what has happened here. We're pretty 3 weeks more or less. Warm, nice, 66 degrees Saturday on March 1st. Can't top that really. And then cool and wet now for a week and a half. Look at all those highs. Wait, we've only been 55. That's the highest we've been for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember one March. When was it? Around 2012, 2010, somewhere in there, 08. There was a March where I don't think we hit 60. The highest in the whole month was 58.
Oh, the whole month?
It was kind of like this through the whole month.
Nice.
Yeah. It can happen. Somehow we're still a degree above normal, but it's pretty close to normal. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's the rain.
Wow. How many days in a row is that now? 2, 3.
Is it 11? 7, 8, 9, 10. We're all
12?
counting. 7, 8, 9.
12?
12? Today's day number 12.
Yeah.
So we're going to have 13, probably 14 Saturday, maybe not. 14, 15. We should get 15. For sure 13 tomorrow.
Wow. Consecutive rain days.
Yeah. So we've had about 3 inches of rain, just under 3 inches so far. I would assume, is it fair? Let's just look at the maps for tomorrow, that we should be up around 3 to 3.5 tomorrow. 3.5, 3.
Yeah, tomorrow looks pretty wet.
Yeah. So yeah, we should be about average.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what happens later next week. That'll say whether it's an average March or is it a much wetter than average.
Right.
Okay, so I shouldn't do that because the microphone picks up everything. But last weekend's rain, so remember we had that atmospheric river over us. It was from Friday night. It was mostly Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And it was aimed at first kind of northwest Oregon, but then it slid to the south. We got lucky that we didn't have any flooding here. Here are the rainfall totals. I didn't write it down. This was from Friday afternoon, oh gosh, what day was it? Well, we know it was Friday, but it was 16, 15, the 14th. So late on the 14th Friday through late on Monday the 17th. So about 3 days.
Okay.
And one of these days it didn't rain hardly in Portland. It was 1/100 of an inch or so. But we had about 7/10 of an inch in Portland. A lot of areas had an inch or so. And you notice as you go south, the rain picks up about 2 inches in Salem. But wait, there's more. This is from Eugene. Eugene is up top here. Yeah, Eugene had 3.37. This would be down south of Cottage Grove. These are raw stations, Forest Service, and also official National Weather Service stations. Notice Roseburg, 4 or 5 inches.
Jeez, the Southern Coast Range just got hammered.
6 inches, 7 inches. Even Medford, very dry place, 1 1/4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Grants Pass, over 5 inches. They had flooding, so there's quite a bit of flooding here, and then up kind of that whole area between Eugene and Grants Pass had quite a bit of flooding.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of this was snow or rain snow mix it was a Pineapple Express sort of thing, where to the south it was pretty wet and mild, and then it was colder. I believe also that Roseburg on the back side of this front it did go to snow. Was it Monday afternoon or Sunday afternoon? Went down to 34 degrees and it changed to snow briefly. An Anna front type situation like we thought might happen, like up in Eugene. Camila, remember?
Yeah, we were looking
You saw that on the graph a week ago.
I texted you. It was on the graph. And actually, at one point in time, I can't remember what day, it had extended the snow all the way, I think, into Salem.
Yeah.
I think that was only for one run, though. But still, I was like, what?
When you see that sort of stuff, that's interesting because it was cluing in on something. It was cluing in on what we call dynamic cooling on the back side of the front, the colder northern side of the front, the stationary Bear Clinic band, we call it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we get really heavy, steady precip. And the snow level is supposed to be around 2,000 or 3,000 feet. It'll drop very close to sea level. So there was some snow in the hills around here about the time they were having the flooding, right? So that was some really heavy rain. What? I had Roseburg stats. I didn't put them in.
Aww.
It was the 7th. Wait, it's here. It's here. Wait, it's coming back to me. It was the 7th wettest 2-day period in Roseburg in their records, which go back over 100 years.
Wow.
So 7th wettest, I did 2 days, so you could see, because it passes midnight. But it was about, I think, 4.5, 5 inches. So really wet.
Was the worst river flooding still the Coquille? Is that what you were seeing?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Some of the smaller creeks had, big flooding, but they didn't have gauges on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about this, I think, last week, that we have been as warm as 80 in the month of March. Here you go, Payton. Oops, there it is. There's Payton's.
Yes.
Earliest occurrence of 80 degrees. Payton did this. I changed something in here. I forget what. I don't know. Maybe I added degree symbols instead of the word degree, whatever. I always have to, like, when a dog
Mark
walks
always
through the
has to
parking
put his
lot.
hand in it somehow.
Dog walks through the parking lot, sees a tire, just has to, kind of like that. Mark has to come in and change a letter in the graphic somewhere. Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You want me to take this?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know. What did you say here?
Oh, yeah. So
it's pretty straightforward.
Well, I'm sure we can say next week's going to be warm. We've been hinting at that. If we happen to reach 80 degrees on Tuesday, which we'll see. But if we do, it'll be the earliest 80-degree day since 1947. That was in March on the 16th. So even if we reached 80 degrees tomorrow, we wouldn't reach that. But still, that would be a very early 80-degree day. We also had a really early 70-degree day. It was end of February. Was it February?
That's right. 27th.
27th.
We had debate over that in the last podcast.
Yes.
Over about a 5-minute period that day changed. It was the 27th because I listened to the podcast. I'm like, gosh, they can't get their act together. 27th.
27th. Perfect. So yeah, and just for reference, obviously we know this would be a very early 80-degree day, but usually our first 80-degree day is in early May. And I think our first 70-degree day is in early April, if I remember correctly. So
earliest 80. Wait, say that again? The last one?
Okay, I think earliest 70 is early April. Earliest 80 is early
You mean
May.
the average date for the first 70?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Got it right here. Wait for it.
Are you having that
Average
delay on your
first
computer that we
day.
talked about? No, okay.
April 1st for the 70.
That's the average first.
Average
How about, let's say, this is a typical first time we hit 70.
Yeah,
April
usual.
1st. Is that fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that 2016 episode. Look at that 85 on just April 4th. I remember it hit 89 in Estacada that day.
Oh,
it was exceptionally warm.
Wow.
So let's back up one. So Brian S. he's a weather guy that's about my age, lives in the area, and I saw this on one of the local weather groups. I stole it. Sorry, Brian, don't sue. I did give you credit.
It's there.
So here you go. So he just looked up. He has the March days where we've hit 75, all of them since 1940 through last year, and see how rare it is to hit 75 or higher.
Yeah. Wow.
So I remember the 94 one. That was early in my career. I remember they sent me out live to stand outside. I don't know. I was just a kid then.
Oh, nice crisp morning too. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool mornings this time of the year when you hit the 70s because you're going to have clear skies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his point was, look at that. PDX went 47 years without reaching 75 in the month of March. The point is, we just don't hit 75 that often in the month of March. But it does happen. It happened in 04, 05, 2013, 16, and last year. We think it'll happen Tuesday. There we go. Lots of oohs and ahs there. We need an audience for this.
Oh, yeah, I know.
We should have an applause button for
and
sure.
A laughter button also.
Yes.
Actually, I can take care of that in post, as they say.
Oh,
I need to start
those are
doing
things
that.
you can add?
Yep, I sure can. Listen.
Can you bleep?
Oh,
yes, we can bleep. Oh, that's a
Probably
good...
not.
It's just too much work. Just don't swear. Payton,
Okay.
I know you're thinking of using...
Why not, Mark?
Payton's
an
the
F
one
word
we
or an
definitely
S
have to worry
word
about with that.
or the B word. Just don't use them. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's too much work for me. Okay, snowpack update. So this on the left here, we have the snowpack as of February 28th. That was the day we were in the 60s. We had just hit 70 the day before. So snowpack, noticing it's always been low not a little lower than average, but not excessively low, but Mount Hood and Willamette Basin. That's mainly due to lower elevation sites. We just didn't have a lot of like 2,000 to 3,000 foot snow this year down here. Great snowpack here. So here's where we are now. We went from 84 Mount Hood to 94. Willamette Basin went from 94 to 120.
And we're talking percent of normal.
Yep.
Yes.
And snow water equivalent. This is if you melt it all down. If you could snap your fingers. We've got down there in the Lake County, Goose Lake, which is sometimes almost dries up. Almost 2 times the normal snowpack sitting in the mountains. So there's going to be a lot of water coming down into these dry basins. So it's good news. Hopefully not too good. I'm a little concerned some of these dry basins, there might be some flooding, but I mean, they'll probably take some of that briefly over the early summer versus another drought. So this will help fill their reservoirs. So we haven't had one of these in quite a few years.
Nice.
Yeah.
And here's another way to look at it. I just showed this at the winter weather recap last night, Oregon AMS. And this is the bottom of the Poochie Lift. snow water equivalent. The black line is this year, starting November 1st, January 1st. I can't read that because it's behind my button. Is that March 1st?
March 1st.
March 1st.
And May 1st. This means typically the highest snowpack of the year peaks about this time, late April, up there at that 5,400 foot elevation. And an average year, an average of 30 years, is the green line. And you can see the big buildup of snow here in early November. We had suddenly 4 feet on the ground there in mid-November, which was great. Then it kind of leveled out. Big snowpack, big snow building again. Christmas break, New Year's right in there. Kind of level and actually dropped slightly in January. All that sunny weather, very dry January. And then now it's come back up again gradually in the big bump the last few days. This will be up here probably. So at that elevation, a little bit above average.
Yeah.
Comments, concerns?
Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. I'm sure all the ski resorts were super busy over the weekend.
I've heard it's really busy, and they'll probably be busy through tomorrow, probably through Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, Saturday is dry, so probably still good, but that's the end of the good snow. And then we're on to, I can say the R word, right? And not get bleeped.
What's the R word? It depends what R word.
Well, with skiing, rain.
Oh.
Ski areas don't like you talking about
I was bracing
rain.
myself for that one.
I know. I was like, I
Mark's
don't know,
gonna get us
Mark.
So, yeah, I think they'll have some rain on Sunday.
Okay.
Look at Crater Lake. Now, this is even more impressive. Remember, green is the average. And you're like, what is this blue line up here, the shading? This is the highest on record.
Wow, pretty close
so
to
at times, it's been the highest on record down at Crater Lake. This is, I think, at the park headquarters, I think, down at Annie Springs at 6,000 feet. Wow. Yeah. And now it's trying to move up towards record again. It probably won't make it, but the point is it's a great snowpack down there.
Sweet.
Good stuff. Okay, let's talk about what's ahead here. The 500 millibar Euro loop, all Euro. Like I said, you know what happened? We just got busy putting this together today. And what else was going on? I don't remember. Just busy.
Well, you had your visit. And...
Oh, yeah. I'm helping out the old folks.
Yeah.
Being a good citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just busy.
As Mark is running back to that recording booth, he's like, we only have Euro. That's all we had time for.
Did it sound just like that?
Yeah.
It's just not like I was having a heart attack.
True.
Okay, so this just shows we can't stop it, unfortunately. Nope, can't stop it. We have to explain that every time. By the way, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. You're probably missing everything. You really should be watching the video version. Yeah. And it either drops into your feed. I suppose that's more the audio version. But kptv.com weather page is right there. It says podcast. Hopefully you have our app, because if you have our app, I do a push alert when it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So
that's nice. You just watch it on your phone.
Yep. Exactly. So this just shows the 500 millibar heights. I don't have the above or below normal, but just it peaks around 576 here coming up on Monday evening, I believe. Yeah. So we have ridging coming up along the west coast. It's not a massive mammoth historic ridge, but it's enough to get us pretty warm. I was watching our sister station in Arizona, and they're going for some record. Is it record? For sure, it's our first 90s of the year down there. I think it's going to get really hot down there.
Wow.
And hot in Southern California.
They might have already reached 90 in Phoenix.
Maybe they did. Okay, good to know. I wasn't sure.
I think they did. But still,
they're looking for some hot stuff. Yeah. So that's through Tuesday. And the biggie is so when we're going to get exceptionally warm weather in the springtime, and I cannot believe I meant to bring in that Mark's Magic chart, the March chart.
Oh yeah, that is
50
nice.
millibar
Nice
temps
visual.
versus that's a good one for the geeks to go over how it works. But
I had it out.
if we're gonna have a really
hold it
warm...
up in front of the camera.
Yeah, could you? I'm gonna stop sharing. Hang on. Stop sharing. I'm going back. Here we go. Okay, she's gonna go get it. That's our wall of fame behind us. People used to work there. Okay. So, that's great. Could you move slightly to your right? Slightly to your right. No, yeah, yes, a little more. All right. So see across the bottom, it's a Salem temperature at 850 millibars, the sounding. And then can you go a little bit to your left then, Camila, so we can see the right side of that? I mean, yeah, keep going. No, more. Okay, so then see, thank you. And that's a PDX high temperature on the left. That's what we've plotted here so that we can go back to the other direction again. So all models are forecasting somewhere between a little more, more, all the way to the edge. We need to see to the edge. Okay, to 15. Okay, so right there. Thank you, Camila. We've never done this before. That's pretty impressive. So we know we're going to be between plus 10 and plus 15 Monday and Tuesday. All right. And so we did notice today, like Camila dropped the temperatures a degree or two. We negotiated a little bit to the right, please.
My right? This way?
Yep. And so we know it's going to, the GFS is more like around a 10. It backed off a little bit today. The Euro is still about 15 on Tuesday afternoon. So can you go a little more? I keep saying right, more, all the way to the edge. Okay.
Which
and the reason I want to show that.
I need to argue with you on that plus 15. Were you looking at the 12Z? What were you looking at? It was 14.
Are you using Salem? Don't look over Portland. Use Salem. Because this is based on Salem temperatures. There's always a degree or two warmer down there.
No, I'm saying where you saw.
Maybe it was 14.
It is 14. It's
okay, so
14.2.
But 14. So the line there, the line there. Actually, I guess you could point to it now.
This
that
one,
line,
the diagonal?
Yep.
Yeah.
That shows that's kind of the regression line. And when we have perfect conditions, which is sunshine, east wind, so offshore flow, so sunshine, that, and those temperatures, we've tended to peak. See the higher dots well above the line.
Yeah,
there.
darker dots.
And the very top of this chart is 80 degrees. Last year, with a plus 13 point something, we hit 77 degrees. So if we're going to be 14, I'm assuming the GFS isn't a precursor of, cooling temperatures off a little bit.
Yeah.
So if we only hit plus 10 with offshore flow, we're probably going to be like 75, 74. Oh, thank you, Camila. That's good, I think.
Okay, great.
That was actually we've never done that. That was actually really impressive. So if we're going to have a plus 14.
Mark and I were fighting earlier because I did drop it a degree because he had 78 and I dropped it to 77 because there were a couple different models that went down a little bit with their 850s.
Did I look crestfallen?
Well, I know Mark hates it when we only change something on the 7-day by 1 degree. But I don't know.
You went more than one. We had 78. You went 75, didn't you?
Yeah, initially I did.
Then we negotiate. Well, she brought it back up to 77, so I left it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the final ingredient, and this could have been our term for the day, but we can save it for a more stable warm weather pattern. So this is the surface map here. This is on Monday afternoon. We've got surface. I know this is messy. This is from the UW, but there's surface high pressure here. There's surface high pressure here, and there's beginnings of what we call a thermal trough in the Central Valley of California. Look at the change by Tuesday midday. Then you have what we call the West Coast thermal trough, an inverted trough of low pressure at the surface. See the sharp up and down there? So there's a trough through here. You've got high pressure to the east. You've got easterly flow coming down into that trough. And that develops because of easterly flow at 850 millibar. When air comes over the mountains, you get a lee side surface trough west of the mountains. So basically it begins higher up with easterlies, like later Monday night and Tuesday morning, and then the surface low forms west of the Cascades on Tuesday morning. That is our classic setup for maximizing those temperatures any time in the warmer half of the year. Notice it doesn't make it to the coastline. So this is probably not one of those situations where it's in the upper 70s at the beaches. It might be 70 on Tuesday, but that's it, I think. Does that mostly make sense?
Yeah.
West Coast.
So you need to have the high pressures positioned pretty specifically on either side for this to work.
Oh, specifically to the east.
Okay.
You need that, and always look for that inverted thermal trough. Where is it going to be? And if in the morning it's west of the Cascades, you're pretty much set for maximizing the afternoon high temperature.
Okay. Interesting.
You're going to go above that line for sure on that chart.
Okay.
That's actually one of the more stable out of all the weather patterns we predict. That's one of the easier ones. If it's sunny, you got the easterly flow overhead. And the 850 millibar temps right, it's usually going to end up right in there.
Nice.
And sure enough, you can see just the Euro 6 hourly max temps. Which day is warmest? It's pretty obvious. All the ensemble members, it's here. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Monday, nice. Wednesday's a big question mark. We don't know when that upper level low, when something swings in. So if there's showers early, that's going to ruin the day, and we're going to be cooler than the 68 we're forecasting. If everything holds off till later, we could be 70 again, easy.
Yeah.
You do see the downturn there for Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday,
big time.
Friday. There are hints, maybe, I'm being too optimistic, maybe at the end of Oregon spring break, like Saturday or Sunday following, could there be some temporary ridging? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, sorry. Okay. So there's our 7-day forecast. Somebody else want to take over for a second?
Sure.
Yeah.
I put this together this afternoon. So yeah, tomorrow, showers to rain. We're still holding that first alert weather day for the Cascades because it does actually look like the snowfall is going to be pretty heavy. Do we talk about snowfall? Actually, I should have looked
in the
at
afternoon.
Okay, I'll hold off.
Quite a bit.
Yeah,
No,
quite a bit there. Oh, we did already.
Well, I mean, no, actually we didn't, but we are now. Now is good.
I didn't want to get ahead of myself if it's like a topic
Oh, I
coming
get
up.
your point. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, some heavier snowfall in the afternoon. We've got a little shortwave coming through. And then Saturday looks really nice. Were you initially, Mark, seeing some shower chances? I think the graph backed off on those today.
It did. It looks like Saturday could just be dry.
Mm-hmm.
But
Maybe
it's not
even
like a
sunny
guaranteed. It's not like a
in the morning.
guaranteed dry.
Yeah. I don't
But
know.
mostly dry.
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
An okay day. Like it could be a totally uneventful day, either rain or warmth wise.
Yeah.
It's just there.
We're gonna cross our fingers that maybe we see some
It's
sunshine
just
first half of Saturday. And then Sunday sprinkles, kind of gray meh day, and then
Sunday's
Monday,
a warm
Tuesday.
front. Those warm fronts are the worst around here. Just
They're
gray.
dreary.
Yeah.
Did you notice that on Sunday almost all the precip is it's a westerly, so it's Coast Range and Cascades, and in the valley it's very light. That's your sprinkles wording.
Yeah. Well, and then obviously the more you go north, the more you'll see heavier rain, since that band is pointed kind of right at Seattle, which is a bummer because I've got a time trial on Sunday in Vancouver.
That means on a bike, right?
Yeah.
Oh, on Sunday?
Yeah. Sunday morning. On
those skinny little tires that have no tread, you do it on a mountain bike. You'll have better traction.
No, you can't do a time trial on a mountain bike.
Well, you'll just be a little slower. You're just going to have to overcome that with your great speed.
Yeah. Okay, continuing on, then you see the ridging there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, warmer temperatures, peaking Tuesday, which, don't be alarmed, you see that first solar weather day Tuesday. It's for the nice weather change, not
I thought we all laugh, even I'm laughing, but we all laugh. But my point was just not because there's any danger, you don't need to do anything, but it's like, hey, that's a day you want to get outside. First alert, get out there.
Yeah, nice.
First alert, call in sick.
It doesn't have to be negative.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, call in sick.
We should have a hooky from work alert weather day graphic.
The boss would love that.
And then at some point Wednesday, we've got another system coming through. So then we turn wet again. And it looks like Thursday is going to be pretty wet. So
yeah, I think so.
Back to the
great for everybody.
Yeah.
And we're pretty confident we go back to wet. There's the Euro Ensemble 24-hour precip. So there's the window dry in there. And then is it every single ensemble member by next Thursday and Friday has rain of some sort. There's some holes here, but that's pretty wet. Okay, term of the week. Does everybody know what a rainbow is? Should we describe?
Rainbow.
Nice.
I highlighted the important parts from the Glossary of Meteorology from the American Meteorological Society. It is, it's a family of large, colored, circular, or nearly circular arcs formed by light, usually sunlight, falling on a population of water drops from rain, cloud, fog, or spray. So this is interesting. Some people don't know this. I hit our co-anchors the other day. They didn't know about this one, that although the rainbow can form a circle, if you're, I've seen like from when we used to have a helicopter in the news business, he was like behind a shower and it was a full circle, of course, below. It was, the arc was out to the east, but there was the rest of the circle is below. The bottom part of the circle is usually cut off by the ground because it's in the way, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, my co-anchors were like, really? So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like how this is so Oregon. The rainbow is a personal phenomenon with each person seeing their own slightly different bow. I added an extra word or two.
Such a good metaphor for
So
life.
That's why you got to take a photo, because you're never going to get to the same photo.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then when people say, this rainbow was perfectly placed, like say it was over this specific building, so it's actually just where you're standing, your vantage point that determines the position of the rainbow.
And then if you were a block away, you'd say, "No, I saw it."
Right. Over this building.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really old graphic, and it's starting to show too. Wow, this is from like 2010.
Sorry.
Where were you in 2010, Payton?
I was watching you, Mark.
Oh, God bless her. Okay. So sunlight comes in. Sunlight has all colors of the spectrum, right? In space, it's more or less white, I believe. Hits the Earth's atmosphere. Well, so then it comes through the Earth's atmosphere, but also the raindrops then break that sunlight into the separate colors. Refraction, big word there. But then that's reflected off the back of the raindrop, and that comes back towards your eye, and it's at a 41-degree angle as it comes around. So you see the rainbow is at a 41-degree angle up. I mean, all sides of it if it was a circle.
Yeah.
And the colors, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I'd never heard of this until my wife, who's a nurse, told me, I don't know, way back in the 90s. She said, oh, Roy G. Biv. And I'm like, what? Who? What?
Yeah, Roy G.
Roy G.
Biv.
Biv.
And you learned that? You two learned that? How come I
In
didn't?
school. Yeah.
I feel like I learned it in elementary school. Yeah.
Do you want to hear a really embarrassing story? I'm going to really expose myself here.
For sure, because it would be a tease if you didn't at this point.
Yeah.
I used to collect bouncy balls when I was younger. I was super into bouncy balls. And I would name them. And I named one Roy and one G and one Biv.
Wow.
For the rainbow.
For the rainbow. Yeah.
Oh, God bless you.
Isn't that sweet? Middle school
That is
Camila.
so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, so innocent.
So I was like
Yeah.
meant to do meteorology maybe. I just didn't know it yet.
I agree. Roy G. Biv.
Roy G.
Red,
Biv.
orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. I can't really, I'm not really like officially colorblind, but my wife says I kind of am. Like the blue to indigo to green areas, I kind of get messed up in there a little bit.
Yeah.
I can
And
see
if it's
that.
double rainbow, it's reversed.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. I don't think a
And-
lot of people know that.
The way that you get a double oh, you have it right here. See? I'm always getting
Did
ahead
you
of
make this
myself.
graphic? I didn't make this graphic. Somebody else did.
No, this is cool. Did you do
I
it?
mean, maybe I
didn't.
did and I've forgotten. What?
I say I
Payton?
didn't, so
Yeah, this is before your time.
Oh.
yeah.
I mean, it's possible I made it because I found a graphic recently that I said, oh, who made this? And then I realized I had made it. But 5 years ago.
We make
Yeah.
a lot of them. So
We do. Only visible mornings and evenings because the sun has to be behind you. It's called the anti-solar point. So can you still see me? If the sun is here, the rainbow's going to be out that way.
you just got kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't work.
You could have done that the other way, facing the microphone.
Broadcasting 101. But the point is it's at the opposite point from your eyeball to the sun. It's going to be at the opposite point. So if the
Yeah.
sun were up above, the rainbow would be in the ground. So that's why it has to be usually mornings and evenings.
I've had someone argue with me about this. They're like, I
is
saw one at noon.
Well,
like-
in winter, it'd be much easier at noon, right?
Like, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still probably a little high, but in winter, you could have one at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. pretty easily, I would think.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so that's rainbows. Peyton, you're on for this one
Ha.
because you. Oh, look at that! This is what got us started on
Well, that's a
rainbows. It was
pretty
your
one.
idea.
Yes, I have to say, I mean, we were looking at viewer photos, lots of pet photos of St. Patrick's Day. We love that. Another
good.
one. Oh, there's lots of hail photos. We'll get to those. And the eclipse. But rainbow photos took over. So
Yeah.
lots of rainbows recently, even some double rainbows. But this one really stood out. It's so beautiful in Depot Bay. Tim Berkey, sent this to us.
Looks good.
Lovely. Okay, the next thing is Mark's topic
Ooh.
here.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
He's got a story, he said. I thought.
I don't
The
remember.
bloodworm moon.
What did I say?
Oh,
I do
you said
know-
we weren't supposed to see it.
That's right.
and then
Remember, Camilla?
we
We were
saw
like,
it.
"Yeah, it's going to be cloudy." I was even poo-pooing it the first part of the week. Like, yeah, forget
Yeah,
about Thursday
we
night.
were
Not going to
doubtful.
happen. Not going to
Yeah.
I
happen.
said that
And
too, yeah.
That evening, I'm like, well, there could be a break or two, and then I started using the graphic. And then I drove home. I could see through the sunroof like the whole time.
Oh,
I hate when
So-
that happens. You're
it's
like,
okay.
I mean,
it
no-
goes. It's better that the forecast goes towards the better
Yes.
scenario versus going towards the worst scenario.
wise words over all these years. You've already learned that. Peyton learned that now. It's better to err on that side than
Be
to err on the other.
pessimistic.
Noted.
Always.
Nobody complains unless it's a drought. Nobody complains if you forecast rain and it turns out sunnier than expected.
Yeah.
But you
Right.
don't want to mess it up, especially in spring the other way around here. People get rough. So thank you, Kathy Larson. This was the full blood moon, the lunar eclipse, which was
Stunning.
last Thursday, the 13th there.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay, little hail pebbles. We had some storms roll through. I mean, you guys can speak more. I was on vacation. Sorry. But
Yeah.
hail.
What day was this? This was on the 14th? What day was that again?
I think,
Friday.
I mean, that's when the
Friday.
I think it was it Friday? Because
Yes.
this is when the
Yeah.
photo was submitted, so I just took a guess.
Yeah. So that threw some people. I mean, we mentioned that thunderstorms were possible. The energy was there in the afternoon. I know our good friend Tanis from the AMS Oregon chapter
Mhm.
got caught in this on a run. Shout out Tanis.
That's right.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm not too big of hailstones as I can recall. And then probably some
Yeah.
gravel mixed in there too for a lot of folks.
Actually, that would be Thursday. They must have submitted it the next day because I remember I didn't work last Friday and last Thursday I got to work and it was really busy with the hail.
Mm.
the
Oh, so it
thunderstorms.
was Thursday.
And our
So it was
photo
actually on the
submitter sometimes messes up the
Right.
dates sometimes.
Yeah.
So I just whatever the photo submitter said I put. But okay. Well, this
I
was
should
Thursday.
point out one last thing. There's a small chance that his last name is Andrew Mork. No, because there's an Andrew. I could be. Thank you, Andrew Monk, if you sent us that picture. But there's also an Andrew, I think, Mork or something like that also lives in the West Hills. I get pictures from.
Really? I
Maybe
just
there's two
copy and
different
pasted
Andrews.
what he typed. So
Must be. Yep. Thank you, Andrew.
Could be
Andrew
more
M.
than one Andrew living in the West Hills, Mark. That's pretty good. Pretty good
We'll
chance
do
of
it
that.
like Severance style, Andrew M. There you go.
yes. Oh, here's the last photo. Just another hail photo of that. It's in downtown Portland.
Thank you, Brandon. Brandon comes to our AMS meetings.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that name.
I think so. Have we reached the end?
We've reached the end.
Wow.
It's all over.
Mm.
Okay, any last thoughts you want to share?
No,
we're excited for the sunshine.
My cat didn't come in. I really thought my cat would make an appearance. Maybe
We'd
next
like to
time.
see your cat one of these times.
Yeah.
What's Kitty's name?
Dakota, but I mean, I never call him that.
Like the state.
Dakota. What's your nickname for Dakota?
Coco, Coconut, Cocoa Puff. I mean, really,
it gets more and more unhinged. You start spiraling with the nicknames.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with his name. Like I called him Butternut Squash today. I don't know why. He's orange, so it's just like anything that's orange. My brother calls him Cheeto.
That's funny. We call Savi Wongy Whiskers sometimes. How does that make any sense?
I don't know.
I call my cat Fatty, so she's so overweight.
Nice.
So sweet.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Camilla's got a show. I need to get this edited and get out of here, so because it's just not spring break time.
Nice.
So we are gonna. I decided. Hopefully, this is okay with you two. We're not going to do one next week.
Okay.
Love it.
We all agreed. So we will be missing spring break. We're not going to have another podcast episode out until that first. The first full week of April. Mm-hmm. So by then, I'm sure it'll be 65 and sunny every other day.
Right.
I'm sure we won't be talking about a lot of showers.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. So thanks again for joining us for episode 131, and we will see you in a couple of weeks.